I love when coaches, consultants, and professional service providers want to do big things in their business. They want to rise to the top and influence their market and the world around them. They want to have a greater impact and make a more lucrative income. Well, if this is you, welcome to Expert in You podcast, the show where I interview other experts and coaches, consultants, so that they can share their success strategies with you. We're going to talk about marketing and how to close more sales, how to get more premium clients, and how to really build your visibility in the market and scale your business like a boss. If this is you, welcome to the show. I want to ask you to subscribe and hit the notification bell right now so you don't miss one episode. Grab your coffee and buckle up because we are ready to give it all to you to help you become the expert and get paid as the expert that you are. Hi, everyone. I want to welcome you back to another episode of Expert in You podcast. I'm your host, Ann Carden. And today I have with me a lead generation specialist and expert, high ticket converting funnels, Jonathan Gree. But I really want to share that he is living on an island in the South Pacific. He's been an entrepreneur doing that since 2010. So this is going to be a fun show. So Jonathan, welcome to my show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to spend some time together talking about some of my favorite subjects.
I love it. And don't you, for those of you listening to the audio version, you can't see his cool background. He's got this really cool background with a lot of great lights. But on the video, you'll be able to see that. So I'm excited to have you here because you are doing a lot of really great things. And you also do some writing of books as well. And is that your main thing that you offer in your business?
So for a long time, that's mostly what I was doing. I was ghostwriting for a lot of people. I created courses for a lot of people. So that's really how I kind of got my feet into the business, into kind of having your own business. Mm-hmm. But nowadays, what I really focus on is building high ticket businesses. And I've been working with a new team that I found last June. All three of them are 22 and they're going to be millionaires this year with the business I've helped them build. So that's really what I love doing now.
Is incredible. That's incredible. I love it. So when we talk about high ticket, because I talk about high ticket too, but I would love to know your version of high ticket. What is that?
Sure. For me, it's anything above $2,000. I know some people that talk hundreds of thousands of dollars, but that's business to business. Mm-hmm. So we right now, like our products range from $2,000 to $30,000 with this new company. So all of that I consider high ticket. Okay, perfect. Yeah. And I consider 30 high ticket too. So, and you're right. A lot of it comes down to who you're targeting and, is it coming from their own pocket or is it coming from the business? So that makes a big difference as well. So tell us how you got into this. How did you become an entrepreneur? And by the way, I just want to give a shout out to your podcast, which I was a guest on as well. Looking forward to that episode coming out. But it is Serve No Master, Leave Your 9 to 5, and Fire Your Boss. Did I say all that right? Yeah, that's great. It's all about how you can take control of your destiny. And even if it's your career, you can look at ways to treat it like a business and to get those promotions and jump between companies and be strategic. So I love it all.
That's awesome. All right. So back to my question. How did you get into all this?
So it all started in personal development for me. I read a book when I was 27 that said you can get better at dating. And I said, what? I thought I was just always born terrible. And I realized that you could get better at talking to people. And what I really learned was how to have a normal conversation without intent. Mm-hmm. And that taught me all of those skills that took me 10,000 conversations before I met my wife is why I get so good at business conversations. Because it turns out all the skills that helped me meet my beautiful wife work really, really well with all of the nerds that I do business with, like me. I'm like, oh my gosh, compliments work on me really good. So that's really what got me into this business was a desire to go, if I can change this part of my life, maybe I can change other parts of my life, whether it's your health or your self-confidence or dealing with, we all have things from our childhood we want to overcome. Everyone has different challenges. And then taking kind of control of my destiny. I was fired from my dream job. Thought it was my dream job until I started the job. I go, I don't like this dream anymore. Mm-hmm. And they fired me in a blizzard. And I realized I never want someone to have that much power over me again, because when someone can fire you, they can devastate you. You don't just lose your job. You lose your ability to pay for your kids to go to school. You lose your ability to pay for food. You lose your house. I had a friend who was a vice president at a Fortune 500 company. It might even be a Fortune 50 company, really well-known company. He lost his job during we're firing 10%, right? It wasn't like he did something particular. It's on the chopping block. And he went from living in a 4-bedroom house with really, really nice cars to living in a single bedroom apartment that had a black mold problem, and his wife got sick from it. And it's like all from one firing, and that kind of thing, it's devastating. And I said, I don't want anyone to have that power over me again. That's really my perception when I thought, oh, job security, job safety. It's not true, because you really have a single point of failure. And that's what has always scared me.
No, there's so much truth to that. And, I was in the corporate sector for 13 years before I ever became an entrepreneur. And it is not only that, like I remember at the time, while I was working in that job, I actually got pregnant, and they were not kind about that. It was not something that they were real thrilled about, and it didn't matter. And so there's more to it other than just even getting fired. There's more to how they are treating people and the things that go on. Yeah,
there's all these things I didn't know happened after high school. Like at one job, I had a bully who got physical with me, and I was put up with it for a while. Then I said, wait a minute, you're not allowed to do that to adults. And then when I reported to my manager, I never saw him again. I know they didn't fire him, but they moved him to somewhere else in the building. I never saw him again. And I was
someone else. Right.
I guess, I don't know. I was like, It was really surprising me. And then you have people that are very political at their careers. And I was in higher education. Higher education is very close to government in the fact that it's about slow rolling. And I'm really bad at that. I got into a lot of trouble. They gave me a task that was supposed to take me 6 months. They go, this is a 6-month project. There's gonna be a lot of this and that. And I finished it in 30 minutes. And I was like, oh. So
oh my gosh.
I had to take a lot of walks. I had to do a lot of stuff. I was like, maybe I was learning programming. I was like, I'll just reprogram the entire student database for the school because they're using a 20-year-old piece of software. And I was like, I might as well do something with my time. And there's this ability, same thing. You go to any place where you can't be fired. Like most government jobs are unfireable, and they do the job as slow as possible. It's really about time and not about effort. And that's not the kind of person I am. And so it's really challenging to be in that type of industry. So when I kind of hit the peak where I moved from teaching into management, I hated it. Like when they fired me, I was freed. They freed me, and I just never wanted someone to have that power over me again. And so that's why I say serve no master or fire your boss. It's that it's not particularly specific about money, but it's about being able to do the things that are best for you and your family without other people forcing you to make decisions. Like being able to be free.
And you're living the life because you're living on an island in the South Pacific and have been for many years. And you're even raising, and by the way, the whole wife thing worked out for him because he just shared with me he's got 4 kids. So that all worked.
Yeah, she's a big part of my life. Everything behind me, she put up. Like I make the plan and she puts up the decorations. That's why that's a real square, because I cannot do a 90-degree angle. And we have a really good relationship. And a lot of it is being here all the time. I'm home more than she is because she goes out to do the errands, like taking the kids to school, taking the kids to martial arts classes, taking the kids to everywhere, buying all the groceries. And I'm here at home. I work from home. So I am actually home more than her, which very different from how I grew up. But my one regret as a child is I wish my dad was around more. So he worked really hard, gave us a great life. And that's kind of what we're taught, is that you sacrifice your youth and the time with your children so that later on you can spend time with them. But by then they don't appreciate you anymore, right? Like by the time they've turned into teenagers, they turn against you. So that's the most important thing to me. So a lot of people have a different definition of success or freedom. For some people, it's 100% money. I don't want to spend time with my kids. I don't care. And it's those are the people that always like their favorite heroes, the billionaire who has like 7 broken marriages and their kids change their names, not have the same name as them. Like that's really hating your parents when you change your name. And that's who they admire. I don't admire that. I admire people who their kids are still friends with them, hang out with them all the time, even into teenagers and adulthood. Teenagers don't have to turn against you. That's just something we think in America because we see it on TV, but it's not necessary. My kids hang out with me all the time. And so for me, that's more important, a bigger part of the decision-making calculus is that than maximum revenue. So it's a balance for me.
I love that. And, one of the things I think about my son, he gets to work from home. He's in tech and he works from home, and he has triple grandkids that are 6 years old and a brand new grandbaby. And I remember my son saying he had gone to some kind of a car show or something, and there was a Lamborghini there. And he said the guy that was showing the Lamborghini, he had some little ones and they were just climbing all over the seats and everything. He said that's success. That you wouldn't think anything about your kids climbing all over, a $250,000, $300,000 car. And so I think that's a good definition, right? Putting things in perspective.
Yeah, it's important to follow people who you want all the results of their life.
Mm-hmm.
And I've known a lot of people that are very, very wealthy and they're not happy, or they have really no time for relationships. I've never slept under my desk. That's not my culture. I know that some people do that. They sleep on a desk for their 20s and eat ramen every day to hopefully become millionaires in their 30s. And sometimes it pays off, but very rarely does that story end happy. Like all the richest people in the world have just the biggest divorces in the world.
Right.
It's like everyone's new records for bigger divorces. Like that's the new competition. And I don't want to be part of that.
Yeah. No, I really love what you're saying. It really resonates with me because I always say success is having it in all areas of your life, health, wealth, happiness, faith, all of everything. And I just believe if you don't have well-rounded, what is it for? Right. So yeah, this is resonating for sure.
Yeah. I mean, this is the most important part to me is choosing what you want, because if you don't know what you're driving towards, you end up just like an angsty teenager. When I was an angsty teenager, I remember I got mad at my parents once. I went for a drive and I drove past the airport twice. And I was like, the airport's an hour away from my house. And you're just doing loops on the freeway because you have no destination. And it's the same thing when you go, well, how much money do you want to make? Or what do you want? What's your ideal goal? What do you want for your kids? And those things, if you don't plan them out, then it can be really tough to hit that goal. And I see that all the time with people that wait a really long time to go, oh, I want to have a family, whether it's men or women, right? You wait until you're 40 or 50, you go, oh, I really want to have kids. It's like, well, I see, especially where I live, sometimes I see guys who are 70 with a baby and they can't keep up. Like,
right. That ship has almost sailed.
I don't want a kid stronger than me. I very much do not want the kids. Even with 4 of them, I have to be very quick because they all do jujitsu and Muay Thai and Taekwondo. So I have to constantly be on edge because you can't let the kids take over the house because then it's all over. But I see that. And again, it's just bad planning. I want to do this and that. But if you're strategic, just knowing from the beginning what you want, you're much more likely to get there.
Yeah, I love that. So let's dive into some of the things that you actually do. So let's talk about helping people build that high ticket business and funnels and do the lead generation. Go into that and let's break that down a little bit.
Yeah, most of what I do for most the clients or people I'm teaching is the strategy level or giving them the big picture. A lot of times people don't know what about themselves is marketable or sellable, what people will pay for or what it's worth. So for example, the team I work with now, when I saw them and I was specifically looking for someone in TikTok to partner with. I said, this is the next wave and I don't want it to be me because I'm in my 40s. I need someone in their 20s who this is their language. And I found 3 people. It's 2 brothers and one of them's married to a lady and they're amazing. And this is that they eat, sleep and breathe TikTok. They know everything about it. They know more than anyone I've ever met. And they were selling a product for $7. And so I emailed them. I bought some coaching calls from them because their coaching call is $30 an hour. And I was like, oh, they're going to figure out these should be $1,000 an hour. So I want to grab them fast. And I sent them an email after a couple of phone calls. I said, I think I can make you guys millionaires within 12 months. Do you guys want to work on a project with me? And they said, yes. You'd be amazed. Most people say no. 9 out of 10 people I say that to say no.
Because they wouldn't believe you.
Yeah, they usually a lot of people think I'm an idiot. And then someone else does my idea. I go, remember that idea I told you about? And they go, you would have done it differently. I'm like, okay, well, now what can I do? But and they're going to do like a lot more than I was predicting. And so a lot of it is I can see the pieces, or I can say, what's the best thing you should sell? So I kind of help people through those different pieces. Like what's the thing you should be teaching and coaching and what should be the thing you can help people with? Because a lot of times people don't know how to define what they're good at. and they talk about the wrong thing. I work with a lady who is a really, really good marriage counselor, really high level, had a lot of great experiences, helped a lot of people. And she was like, well, I want to help entrepreneurs to make sure their marriage is good. I was like, well, no one's going to do that because no one wants to say, oh, I need to check up on my marriage. Right. And so I said, instead, what you have to do is offer a certification program and say, hey, I'll interview you and then tell everyone your marriage is amazing. I'll give you a certification. And we switched it to an audit, which is something that is no longer, oh, your marriage is on the rocks. Instead of like, I think it's great, but we're just going to do a checkup. And by switching that language and saying we're focused on the positive and the negative, and then it becomes sellable with a small change. And she's starting to have a lot of success. I think this is going to be really exciting for her. And then once I help people figure out the product, we figure out like a process. What's going to be your low price thing? What's going to be your like under $20? What's going to be your couple $100s? What's going to be your thousands? And what's going to be your 10,000s? Because every once in a while you get that client who's like, no, I want the one-on-one attention. I don't care about the price. I inherited millions. So let's just do it. So you want to be ready for that situation. And so that's how I help people tier. And then it's just about creating a sales webinar. It's mostly what I help people do is to sell via webinar, because it's much easier to learn to write a webinar than it is to write a sales page. It's a much higher level or complicated skill. Webinar, it's just knowing the beats of a story, whereas copywriting, you have to be very, very, very skilled. And that's taken me a lot of years to just get pretty good, but not amazing. And so I try to figure out what is the skill that's easiest for me to pass on in the minimum amount of time to give you maximum result. And for a product over $1,000, you have to sell either by phone call or webinar anyways.
Right. Awesome. So do you build out all the funnels and do done for you, or you just give them the strategy and teach them how to do it? What is your process?
Yeah. For most people, it's just teaching them what to do. Sometimes I have templates and sometimes I'll write the webinar with them, but I'm so busy with this TikTok team I put together. It's taking up more and more of my bandwidth. I originally was like, I think I would do 3 teams where I'm an equity partner with them, but there's just not time. This is the main thing I do. It's my business and then this business. The done for you parts is more, I'll tell you who to hire. I'll bring you the copywriter, bring you the page builder, but I don't want to be managing them.
Right.
So sometimes I'm going to take on a really high ticket client and it's going to be obviously very expensive for me to do it. And I don't mind doing that every once in a while, but mostly I can just tell you exactly what to do, who to hire, and kind of give you basically a recipe. And then it works every time because I have a strong understanding of what people will and will not pay for and how to price things out so that you're positive ROI very quickly.
And so, Jonathan, how long does someone typically work with you if you're helping them do this process? How do you do that?
It's going to be around 6 months to kind of be done with what they need. Most people make the money back in the first week or the second week with me. So it's really designed because a lot of times I go, oh, you have an audience. And if you don't have an audience, then that's the other part I help with. Is here's how to get a fast audience to get enough people to test your idea. And then we run it. And then after that, it's just about replication, getting more audience, and then doing the offer again and again. So those are the 2 parts. What I find for most people's biggest problem is not what they think it is. Most people's biggest problem is that they don't have an audience and they think they do. I've got 10,000 Twitter followers. It's worth like $7 because nobody from Twitter clicks on links because you see tweet. You see so many per day, right? It's such a barrage. Right. Most people who are like active on Twitter, they post like 30, 40, 50 tweets a day. So it's not like email. I send out 1 email a day, right? But people post on Facebook 5 times a day and Instagram 8 times a day, whatever. But so I help them to figure out where your audience is and how to get them. So right now, the best place for everyone is TikTok. I'm very bullish on TikTok because everyone I knew it was big when every single really wealthy person I knew, 8-9 figure earners, were like, oh, I spend an hour a day on TikTok. And I was like, whoa, everyone I look up to is hanging out on there as a consumer. I want to get in front of them.
That's interesting information. I wouldn't have actually thought that. Are they entrepreneurs when you talk about the 8 and 9 figure earners?
Oh, yes. I will tell you right now that the belief you have, right, that TikTok is for kids is why people like me are going to do 8 or 9 figures on TikTok this year, because no, it's non-competitive. People make big assumptions. You got to be young. You got to be good looking. Wrong. Nobody on there has money. 1 out of 3 families, 1 out of 3 adults who makes over $100,000 a year is on TikTok every day. There's nowhere else you can reach the top 20% of America, right? 1 out of 3. You're not going to find them all on LinkedIn or all on Facebook. They're all on TikTok. So it's that hot. 80% of people on TikTok are over 20. It's not teenagers anymore. So it's really where the opportunity is. And obviously there's a lot of misconceptions people have about it. And that's where the opportunity is. I never see content by teenagers. I only see content by dads because that's what I like to watch.
So do you have to get on there and act silly?
Nope. Another big misconception. The money is in being serious. The being silly, the only way you can make money is like getting a sponsorship, which is really, really hard, and they massively underpay. And only 1 out of 100 people who's successful even gets that. It's the wrong way to monetize. But being serious, my content is just like this. This is where I film in the exact same chair, in the exact same room, the same camera, and the same mic, where I shoot all of my TikTok videos. And I don't do any dancing, and I don't do anything silly. No, I did one dance last year. I did one where I was copying someone else in a dance, but it wasn't like an embarrassing dance. It was a fun. I go, this one's fun. I'm going to do it. So that's all misconceptions. That yes, there is dancing content. Yes, there's stand-up comedy content. Yes, there's like silly stuff, but there's also doctors talking about serious illness. There's people talking about everything on the spectrum. And it's a place where you can see really amazing things, but it's also a place where people go to learn. There's more people now, a lot of people now under 30, they don't do searches on Google. They now search on TikTok if they want to learn something or find directions even. So it's really a massive change in the cultural zeitgeist. And the real magic of TikTok is that it's the way the internet was supposed to be. I really grew up, my formative years were MySpace, and MySpace was a place where nobody was mean. So I don't ever remember a mean thing happening on MySpace. It was like, it was a friendly place. Everyone was happy. Right now it's not that, right? Everyone's like sending, like every time I look at Facebook, I get depressed. Like Facebook's where I go to feel bad. It's like every single person who I know wants to combine a picture of their kid's birthday with a political message. And it's like, I do not have any interest in that. That's one of the reasons I left the country. I'm not interested in that. That's not what I want to spend all my time thinking about. And I don't know why that's there. But when I go to TikTok, I always feel good. They figured out how to show me stuff I like, and they would not show you and me the same content. The stuff they show me is crazy. I've watched over 100 videos about a man who's having a dispute with his neighbor who's convinced he's stealing rocks from his front yard. And I watched all of them. They went to court twice. They finally had to move, the whole saga. Not everyone likes that, right? But that's my particular thing. I didn't know I liked that either. So that's what's beautiful. And the special thing about TikTok is that it doesn't judge you. It doesn't matter how old you are or what your last video did. You're judged one video at a time. Your audience size is irrelevant. You know, I only have a couple thousand followers on TikTok because I don't drive followers. I drive email submissions. So I want people on email lists, not following me on TikTok. But I've had videos that have had 750,000 views, and you cannot get that anywhere else. Other platforms are trying to copy it. I can make a YouTube video. It takes me 40 hours and I'll get a couple hundred views. It's a nightmare. But if I take a TikTok video and repost on YouTube, I have hundreds of thousands of views from that. All the other platforms are copying TikTok. TikTok will reward good content. Nobody else will. When's the last time you saw something on Facebook that was viral? Right. Like viral thing I saw on YouTube, I guess, was Honey Badger. And that's like 2013. That's 9 or 10 years ago. They've all switched from content to pay to play. If you follow me on Facebook, I have to pay for you to see my content. That's silly. If I'm on Twitter, I have to pay for you to know that I'm actually me. Everywhere is pay to play. And I hate that because it's not fair. The internet was meant to be, I can see things that I want to see. And if something is interesting to me, the internet will bring it to me. That's what it was. That's what MySpace was. That's what early YouTube is. And now, I mean, YouTube recommends stuff to me that's terrible. They'll show me the same video 30 times. I go, I don't want to see this. Why do you keep trying to convince me I like this? I don't like it. TikTok never does that. And the other platforms should just copy. They're all trying to rip it off. They're trying to do reels. They're trying to YouTube shorts, but they haven't figured out, hey, just show stuff to people that they like. TikTok does not show me bikini girls. It doesn't show me dancing. Reels every time does. They don't get it. Okay. That's my work phone. I do not want that kind of stuff on my phone. Whatever you do in your personal life, I don't care. But my work phone is for work. I have a phone that's just for TikTok. Guess what? That stuff is never on there. And TikTok, I click a video once and say, don't show me this kind of stuff. And they know what I mean. I've never seen a video by someone under the age of 20. I don't want to see that. I'm not interested. Boys, girls, whatever. Teenagers, I did it once. I don't want to redo puberty. Like, I'm good on that. So that's why I love TikTok. You can post content and then people that like that will find it. And that's really beautiful.
I didn't plan on this being a TikTok show, but hey, well, that's good. We'll go with it. So I have two questions for you. First of all, the guys that you're helping build $1 million business on TikTok, what is it they're selling now? Because they were selling something for $7, right? What are they selling now?
Yeah. So now we've really changed it from how to become popular on TikTok to how to build your business on TikTok. We help elite coaches. We help 6 and 7 figure companies turn TikTok into a traffic stream for them to really accelerate. It's a great place for coaches to get a massive audience because coaches like to talk about the stuff they coach about, right? Vegans want to talk about veganing. Paleo people just want to talk about paleo. This is a place where you can show people your paleo recipes and then they want to buy your coaching. And it's really like, it's like, why isn't it all the internet this simple? Why is all the internet this nice? You very rarely see confrontations or any of that jazz, but instead it's really a place where you can build a business. You just have to have that in mind when you start. As long as you go, oh, this is the kind of content I want, and these are the kind of people I want to see my stuff, then you make content that they like. Okay. And it's a simple process. So we really switch from that. We don't really help people in their 20s anymore. We help people that are 40 plus that kind of say, oh, TikTok is a traffic source, or TikTok can help me grow my business. We don't help very many people that have no business going on at all. So we help entrepreneurs. It's kind of in between business to consumer and business to business because we kind of directly target entrepreneurs, and our products now range from $5,000 to $30,000. You know, we've been raising the price because we're offering better things and a lot more sophisticated knowledge. Honestly, every time we have a meeting with them and I'm introducing to someone to talk about TikTok, when they start talking about it, I'm like, man, they know more than I remembered. So it's really exciting. And it's a good fit because the things I'm good at, they're terrible at. And the things I'm terrible at, they're good at. And that's really the dream partnership. You don't want a partnership where you're both good at the same thing. Right. You both have no idea. Like when I met them, they were like, what's a webinar? What's a shopping cart? What's a payment process? It's like, guys, I'll just build all that. You guys just keep doing you. I've learned this lesson because people often talk to me about my kids. Oh, your kid's going to go to college, or your kid's going to do this. I said, my kids just have to be good at one thing. You don't have to be good at 10 things. You just have to be really good at one thing and then surround yourself with people that'll do the rest of it. And that's really what's great about kind of the modern internet and the way the world is going is that you can be a brilliant violinist and now make a living doing really cool violin stuff on TikTok or YouTube, whatever. I love that. I love people that are great. I watch these 2 deaf comedians. They're just 2 friends and the stuff they say is so crazy. And I went to college with a lot of deaf people. I had a lot of deaf friends in college, and the jokes they tell are so shocking. Now, when hearing people see them, we're always like, whoa, a hearing person could never say what a deaf person says. It's so shocking. I'll never forget my friend Angela. She was partially hearing. And one time a deaf person asked her, what does the sun sound like? And she's like, I just laughed in his face for an hour. And I was like, I thought it was going to be a beautiful story. And it was like so shocking to me, but it's like, it's such a different type of humor. And I watch these 2 guys, they're so funny and they would never be on TV. But they have millions of followers because they're just really funny, 2 best friends, and they answer questions. They let people ask questions and they're so silly. And that's the thing, whatever your thing is, you can find an audience. And that's really, I just have always wished that's what the internet was like. That's what it was like early days. And then we lost it for 20 years and now it's kind of back. And I hope it switches to that because it's not all ads all the time. I get that ads have to be there, but that's why MySpace died. I remember when my MySpace page became more than 50% ads, I said, well, it's more ads than me. I'm out of here. And that's why everyone left. Right. So that's what we help people with. And then we do have done for you levels where some of the stuff I've talked about is where we help them to build the funnels. We provide some of the software. We help them like, here's the free gift to give away. Here's how to set up your landing page. Here's the software that we use. We have templates pre-put in. We start to do that at the higher levels. As people spend more money with us, we kind of, because we want them to generate their, and we also tell people to sell stuff that's $1,000 or more. Like we don't think you should sell. If you're selling a $7 product, it's taking a long time to recover your investment with us. So we people that are in the coaching space or are experienced or knowledgeable. It's always amazing to me how many people don't realize their specialized knowledge is valuable. Oh, absolutely. Almost everyone over 40 knows something that other people wish they know. And they usually think it's worthless. And that's really a great shame. And I hope it turns around. But that's often when I walk up to people, I go, what you can do, people want to see it. I had this friend in my 20s who was so good at friendship. I knew 3 people who offered him 7 figures to teach friendship for their company because he was so good. And he's like, oh, I don't want to do it. It's pure. And I was like, all right, that's great. But also you're so good at this. This can be your business. And that's crazy. Right? Like, so I love that. I mean, I do a lot of that same thing too, is helping people package their expertise and, build a coaching and consulting business around that because people don't realize they're too close to their value. They don't even understand what their value is and what it could bring to the market.
So I love that. So in that respect, we kind of do some of the same things, but we don't do the same things at all. But I love this. So I have another question for you around your TikTok. What kind of content do you put out there? What could I see if I follow Jonathan?
I make one video over and over again. My audience only likes one video, and I've made hundreds of it. It gets millions of views, and it's so silly. I hold up a tchotchke, something that I bought for my kids or myself that's under $3. And I go, can I make millions of dollars selling this on Amazon? So here's an example. This is a real one. I'll say this is a real one I've done. I have 4 phones because I have a phone just for TikTok. I have a phone for my other TikTok. I have my real phone and I have an e-reader phone for my eyes. And so I have them and I have these little holders. I have in 4 different colors. I go, I'll just hold this up to the camera. I go, hey, can this can this phone stand make me a millionaire? Let's find out. And then I'll show this cost me like 40 cents where I live, and you can buy it at AliExpress for 40 cents. And in Amazon, it's like $14 for one of these. So you can buy it 14 cents. You can sell $14. Even all Amazon's fees, you can make a profit of like $8 for every one of these you sell. And these are so simple and it's a low risk, right? You buy 100 of these, you've risked $40. That's the kind of thing I show. And I just show stuff, either stuff I bought for myself or stuff I bought for my kids. Things like this. Everything off my desk I've done. So everything, I don't have a bunch of stuff on the desk right now, but anything like phone stands, toys for my kids, anything that's like a couple of dollars, or a pool float. Like one of the things I have my daughter learn to swim on, I've done videos for that. And it's always that. And I'm not an Amazon guy. That's not a huge part of my business. I do promote some affiliate courses in that space. As an affiliate, I promote some things. And so that's what my audience really likes. And other people could do the same video and people won't like it. And I try to do other people's styles, but they don't like that. But I try a lot of different things, but that's always the most successful one. And I just did one. The first one I ever did was like, I had a blue USB cable that was bright and that got like 1 million views. And I go, oh, the color made a big difference. So I look for bright color things and that's what my audience likes. And then once they follow me, then they see a lot of the other content that's more educational. But that's really the thing, is that you'll try a lot of stuff. You'll find one thing that hits and you could just do it over and over again, because TikTok does not show your content to your followers. They will show 10% followers, 90% strangers every single time. And that's what I love.
So that makes sense why you would keep doing the same thing. So how is it bringing you business? How does that work?
So I'm not super active on TikTok because the other 3 people on my team are. They're posting around 700 to 1,000 videos a month across their accounts. They run about 18 accounts. So I don't have to do that part as much anymore.
Yeah.
So we do that, post a lot of content, which drives people to, right now, for our high ticket stuff, it's so simple, you're going to go crazy. We either run an ad, ads on TikTok are so low cost, and that's because we're scaling. So we just broke through our scale barrier. So we were maxed out because they were doing everything and doing 50 calls a week, and 50 calls is a ceiling for us. In-house, we can't do more than 50. We just started a partnership with a phone company. We have 2 full-time reps from them, and they can add in other people from their team as needed. So now we can do more than 100 per week. So that means, now they're not doing calls and the traffic. So we do a lot organic, millions of views every month, but we're trying to drive so many phone calls. So we'll run an ad. It costs us $1 to $3 to get someone to want to do the form. But with our screening process, it costs us about $10 by the time someone fills out the form and they're a qualified lead. From there, it basically goes, they see an ad or they see a video, they DM us. We go, hey, let us check out your account. We'll give you some feedback. We give them a basic thing, go, oh, these 3 things will help your account grow. Do you want to learn more about growing your account? Great. Here's our form for a phone call.
And you're talking about their TikTok account?
Yep.
Okay.
And that works for anything. There's this misconception that you have to be really long conversations before you get on the phone. It's not. All we do is eliminate. We used to run people through a long training webinar. We'd run it once a week and was doing really well. We just don't use that anymore. I wrote the whole thing. It's like, all right. But we've gotten to the point where we've really refined our messaging, and that was all me. And that's all the ad stuff is the TikTokers, all the stuff after that, what we sell on the phone, the pricing. I remember we started off at $1,000. And when I wanted to raise it to 2, they almost had a coup. I thought they were going to like HMS Bounty me. They were like, Jonathan, nobody's going to pay $2,000. Are you insane? And we just had our first $5,000 full pay for the same product like last week. It's like, see guys, the thing about charging more money is it means you can deploy more resources on that customer's behalf.
Absolutely. Yes.
So when that customer goes, can you make a landing page for me? I'm like, yeah, we can spend the money on that. We can do this and that for you. The lower ticket customers, we don't have enough profit to do other things for them. But now we can, we'll build your landing page. Now we can spend more time auditing. Now we can do more calls with you. And that's part of the growing. And that's why we're adding the higher level packages, because some people go, I don't want to do any of it. Just build the business for me and I'll shoot the videos you tell me. That's fine too. We'll do that. And that will allow us to hire more people to, again, deploy more resources, build out more tools. So that's our approach. Most of the people, honestly, they just need more traffic.
Yes.
Most people for their businesses. Every coach, right? I see a lot of people that come through other coaching programs. If you build a course and post it online, that's it. I was like, oh, I wish.
Doesn't work that way. No, it does not.
So we find people who are amazing at different things. And I just like, this is the easiest way to do traffic, and you don't have to be good. So I posted a video earlier tonight. I hadn't posted a video in ages. And I was like, I've got to do this. I'm talking about all the time. Just so busy doing the back end business stuff for this business and my business. I posted a video and it did bad. But I got 87 views in an hour from 87 people who've never heard of me before.
Right.
That on TikTok is so good on YouTube, right? That's more than one of my videos on YouTube, right? And that's also like, when you think about how long it took me to get, how long does it take to get your first 87 listeners for a podcast, or 87 people to visit your website from SEO? It takes an eternity.
Yeah.
So I love that a bad on TikTok is like an A+ out of the park home run on any other platform.
That's interesting. Wow, this has been so great. It's always interesting the way these podcasts go and the direction that they move. So I appreciate you sharing all that. That was phenomenal information. And I know it's going to be really helpful to my listeners, because I haven't had anyone on here talking really about TikTok before. So thank you for sharing all of that. I'm glad it went that direction. So Jonathan, how can people get a hold of you? What's the best way? Should they look you up on TikTok?
Well, I'm always changing TikTok names. So I'm on like my 10th TikTok account because I often forget my password or these things happen. I have a different approach to TikTok to other platforms that not as much about longevity. But if you Google Serve No Master, every result is either me or Jet Li. He's on like page 3. And that's the best way to find me. And if you want to have one of my books for free, I've written quite a few bestsellers. You can go to givetogetfree.com and you can download one of my books for free rather than paying $20 on Amazon.
Okay. What was that? What was that again? Give
to get free.
Free.com. Perfect. And we'll put all of that information in the show notes as well. So thank you so much. This has been so fun. And check out his podcast also, Serve No Master. So Jonathan, thank you. It has been such a pleasure getting to know you. I enjoyed being on your show. It's been fun having you on mine as well. So thanks for being here.
I had a good time.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for listening to another episode of Expert in You. And until next week, go rock your business. God bless you. Bye-bye.
If you've enjoyed this episode, I want to invite you to go check out a free training that I have at expertinu.us. It is a training that I have on how you can get ultra premium dream clients, scale your business, get more freedom, and really simplify your business and multiply your money. So go check that out. And again, that is expertinu.us. I want to thank you for being here with me this week. I hope you found massive value. Please always leave a comment, feedback, or a question. We check them all. And I want you to go rock your business and make sure you join us again next week. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.